Hi, my loves. This is your host, Karla, bringing stories of life experiences and of powerful lessons. Also sharing healing methods and topics of the natural and supernatural. Remember, you are the medicine. Tú eres la medicina. Karla After Dark. And the healing method for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for right now, how was that able to help you also to overcome and be in a space where you're at in forgiveness? And I know you've done therapy as well. You use that as a form as well to help you and connecting back to your biological mom
Mm-hmm.
and be able to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Will you like to share a little bit of that?
Yeah. Or forgiveness is a big part of this process. In order for me to be forgiven for everything that I've done, I had to forgive, and I had to start with her. And because it was a huge part of my childhood that was torturous.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt abandoned, and she had a lot into that, because she wasn't capable of taking care of me. But I wanted to find out the truth. I wanted to hear her side of the story, because I know when it comes with another human being, there's always two sides of the story. And I needed to hear her story, and I needed to heal a piece of my heart that I knew that I would get that if I go and see her. And she has not seen me she had not seen me in 35 years.
Oh, wow.
And she was living in Spokane, Washington. And at the time, she was 63 years old, less than 100 pounds. So one leg was longer than the other. She was in a wheelchair.
Oh.
She still uses to the day. And when she seen me, and I seen her, like I flew on a plane, and got a hotel, and seen her the next day. And as I was walking in the door, she's already crying. And we have the same pouty face. Or a resemblance of each other is just, and her favorite color is purple.
Oh.
My favorite color. She loves butterflies and dragonflies. My favorite.
That's so crazy that you weren't raised by her, and how connected you are in that way with your mom.
Oh yeah. And but when I leaned in to hug her, that was it. That was the forgiveness I could give her, by showing up and hugging her and telling her it's okay. I don't hate you. You don't have to keep apologizing to me. That I understand. So like I learned some principles of compassion, tolerance, and empathy for the suffering addict, and she's the suffering addict to this day. And like knowing that could be me. That could be me if I continue on the path of using.
And that's part of the tools, right, that help you that you were able to recognize that your mom, she's just like you. She's a human, that she was given, or, you still don't know her full history, right? What she probably could have. I mean, you're just probably getting a certain percentage of her story, but how you can connect with her is emotionally and be able to resonate with her in her pain, where she's escaping of her reality.
I mean, a lot of her story is similar to mine. She went through abuse just as much as I did. She was molested. She was adopted. She was part of incest. She had no fighting chance. Like, this goes back generation to generation to generation. Like, that's how far back it goes. It doesn't even stop with her and her mom. It goes back to her mom's mom's mom. And the only way I was able to figure that out was because of the 23andMe that I did. And then ask her the questions that I needed to be answered. And because there was bits of the story that I kept getting from from other parts of the biological family that I didn't really believe in what they were saying. So I knew I needed to get it from her. And I'm so grateful I took that trip, because I got to see her home. I got to see a side of her that I really wanted to see. And she was so eager to see me. She wanted to see me, like, she wants to still see me to this day. But, you know, the truth of it is she still uses, and I have to love with the boundary. You know, the tools that I've learned from this program is, you know, like what I have to do on a daily is prayer, meditation. I have to apply the pen to paper. I have to go to meetings. I have to call my sponsor. I have to reach out to my support group. Like, it's nonstop. And I'm okay with that today. Like, for a while I wasn't okay with it because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. But we all know what happens if I do what I want to do. Volcano erupt, you know.
And it's almost like the way I see it is like, you guys, like, what I want to share in this form, in this platform, that 12 steps, I've never been against it whatsoever. You're, like I said, I seen your growth. The way I see it, this method and this system form that's helped you, it's like any other kind of healing method. You have to do like almost a ritual of your day, setting the intention as you wake up, being in gratitude, being in a state of mind, setting the tone for your morning. And one of the biggest thing for you is like living your life with peace.
Yes.
With calmness, right? We already know how that feels when you be in that state of calmness, and we can still go through anxious days, chaotic days, flustering days. We're still human. But you have the tools, how to bounce back. And it's kind of like one of those things, if you work out, you just bounce back to what you left off. You're just going to continue where you carried on, and you push forward instead of just like, and then you have like your whole day ruined. Yeah, there's days are going to get some days really fucked up, you know? That's okay even too, because that gives you like almost like a reset button to get you back into that space where, what do I need? What does Karla need? What does Nikki need to do to get in that space again, mentally, emotionally, that you're physically, you know, in that calmness. Your heart is still open and not shut for people.
Well, I have to talk about it. I have to share about it. I have to write about it. I have to pray about it. And doing all that gives me the ability to let it go. And sometimes I have to do it over and over and over again, and in that exact order. That's what's helped me. And another thing is, when I don't want to do something, or when I don't want to feel something, I have to say it out loud. If it's not out loud to my husband or my sponsor or at a meeting, like I have to find a positive outlook. And the pen to paper is a huge part of this whole journey for me. I keep one next to my bed, one in my purse, one in my car, one in my work bag.
No way.
Yes. Well, because I never know when I'm going to be set off or triggered.
What is... We're continuously... I mean, you never know.
I got triggered today.
I mean, I got triggered all the time. That's part of us being human beings. But we know what to do, right? Like, for me, I mean, you do... What do you do? Like, also pen and paper. You say out loud. For me, it's same concept. It's just more like, Karla, like, let's go back to this. Like, let's
deep breath.
Like some breath work. For me, it's breath work works. For me, I do just gratitude. I'm now adopting into before I couldn't just shut my eyes and meditate because my mind was racing super fast.
Yeah.
So now when I get centered, then I can breathe and then I can meditate, because then I'm controlling the thought process, because my mind will go, and heavy on my emotions. I would be too heavy on my emotions that my brain was just like, you're feeling, or it's too much. But now I'm in that place where I can think and just sit back and observe and have that awareness. Where is it coming from? Like, what do I need? I'm getting triggered. Okay, why am I getting triggered? And so then I go into that space, and then you just breathe. And then if it's getting too intense, there was times my emotions were really high, Nikki, that I just needed to go and just jump in the shower and take a cold ass shower. That will zap me, like, ooh, that will completely get me in the space where I'm just here. This is my present moment, Karla. The mind can go really wild. So controlling my mind, that's just for me as well. But the way I see it for you, how it works, Nikki, I would say if anybody resonates with this method that works for Nikki, please try it. Adopt new things into your life. Journaling, pen and paper, saying it out loud, talking to somebody that you feel safe. At the end of the day, that's what comes down to, right? That's what sponsor is, that person that is doing the work, right? It's that you build that relationship with this person, and they're hearing you out, and they've done the work themselves too, and they are still. It's not like they just arrive and they're like good and happy, and they're still human beings that are working through it of different things of their life.
And then mostly like the trust in a higher power.
The most important part.
The most important part. But first it's like, you gotta admit your powerlessness, right? And then believing that there is something bigger than ourselves that can restore us to sanity. Then having trust and faith that higher power is going to get us through whatever we're going through or whatever we're feeling. And then taking a look at ourselves, sharing our darkest secrets to somebody, and then coming back to ourselves again and showing humility, like admitting that, yeah, I don't got it all together, and that I can't do this alone, and that I do have some defects of character, and some shortcomings, and that I want to apologize for any pain or harm that I've caused. Right?
To others, yeah.
To others, right?
And this is like the part too, right? When we come into that place where you recognize that we've also hurt other people through the midst of our own mess.
Yeah.
And that's when you come and bring acceptance and compassion. You accept it, but don't stay in that state of suffering as well. Like, oh my God, I'm a horrible person, blah, blah, blah. But
that's a pity party.
Yes.
You don't want to be in that.
No, you just accept it.
Yeah.
And own it, that's where you were, and that's where you were at, and recognize it, move forward, forgiving yourself, but having compassion for ourselves through it as well when it gets ugly and messy. Because nobody, let me tell you, your groups, my groups, our communities, there's so many different communities, right? You find your tribe, you find your family, your soul families that are your community, your support system. But nobody is perfect.
That's the thing. That's what everybody needs to remember. Yeah. We ain't going to do this all perfectly. No. I'm still going to have some flaws. I'm still going to act out sometimes. That's just the human nature in us. But like for any situation that we see ourselves wrapped up in that triangle self-obsession, we have to own it and acknowledge it in order to move forward. Because if we don't own it, acknowledge it, we can't move forward. And that's where humility comes in. Like admitting, like, yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, I did mess up. I apologize.
Yep.
Like, that takes a big person to do that. And for the longest time, I could not be that one.
It's again because of the shame and guilt, right?
Yeah.
It keeps you in that place of like being afraid. If you are fully yourself, will they still love me? Am I still enough for them? Am I going to be still accepted in your friendships or your circles? Or, that's where it comes back to the rejection, right? We're afraid to be rejected. Abandoned because I'm messy with my feelings. And that's a really hard part when you have to accept that.
Yeah.
And it's emotional for me because I know when I work through my dark shadows, and I have to go to the root of things of why I'm reactive, why I'm responding this way with my emotions. Because the story that I'm attached to in my mind, I'm believing that's my reality, right? Into my present time. So I become this person reactive and acting out in emotion. But that's our true self? No. That's a character we created. That's a role. I mean, we can go on with this topic forever, Nikki, right? Because it's just never ending growing of our healing. And what's another thing that has worked for you besides like forgiving your past, forgiving your shortcomings,
forgiving myself, forgiving others, like not just forgiving my mom, forgiving my adopted mom, forgiving my dad, forgiving the people that caused so much harm to me. That even that man that hurt me and took my son. Like, at the end of the day, I have a part in that. I have a part in that.
That's the hard one. That's the hard one.
I just started acknowledging it just not even 2 weeks ago. Like, saying it out loud. Like, my part was that I chose, because I had a clear mind when I made this decision to leave that rehab, go to him because he said the magic words, I love you. That was my choice. There was no drugs in my body. The minute I put any drugs in my body, I lose all ability of choice. So that was my part. If I would have made a better choice, I wouldn't have ended up where I ended up.
Yes.
So today, I'm fully aware I have choices today. And I have to take accountability on that. And I have to remember there's a tab to pick up the minute that I decide to like not feel what I have to feel, or face what I need to face. Like, there's a tab, and I don't want no more tabs, because now I have 3 children that also get that tab.
Oof.
My husband gets that tab. My
Mm-hmm.
people get that tab. Like, how I behave affects everyone around me. Yeah. So I have to continue doing the work that I need to do so that I can continue to be free. And the 12-step process has given me, has given me one of the keys of freedom. And I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough how much freedom I have today. Like, today I really have a healthy relationship with reality. And I never thought to see
that
the day.
part right there. A healthy relationship with my reality. That's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh. That's wild.
Even with my baby daddies, we're all good.
And that's a big manifestation. Because I know deep inside, everyone is capable to be in that reality of peace, calmness, and acceptance of even baby daddies. You have 2, and to have a good, healthy connection with them and co-parenting.
Yeah, we can have conversations on the phone about our kids.
Yeah.
And be happy for one another. Everybody's getting married. I'm like, do you need anything?
Do you want me to like?
Do you need this? Do you need that? No, I got it. Okay, just checking. You know, Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Gift card. It wasn't like that a year ago. We all were like, could not stand each other. But this is like, they know I'm continuing taking care of me. And they can tell how my children are. My children are all striving right now. They're all happy. They're not lashing out. They're not waking up in the middle of the night. It's how I am being today, how I'm doing my life. My kids are getting the gift of that. And that's what I'm hanging on to, because I dreamed of that. I dreamed of that my kids could see mom happy and mom well, and mom being present. It was so important to me that I just get out of the way long enough that they could see that I'm fighting for my life and I'm fighting for them.
And it is very heartfelt, because as moms, there is days that we get so emotional. It's emotional because we were once a child, you know? We were also growing up, and my reality was not like it was horrific. I just went through a lot of emotional part, or that it's just a lot of children nowadays, if we don't give them that, they're gonna lash out. And we're continuously seeing human beings, adults, lashing out. And in my experience, you know, of course, my healing journey has been slightly more in the plant medicine form, in which we both respect each other with the way our path. We have chosen to heal ourselves, and it has worked for each individually, you know. And we're just happy for each other that we're both healing. But for me, in some of my journeys, and you know this, that I've been able to witness by me witnessing my inner self, and I observe outside, it's just, we're all human beings. We're all adults who are having a bad day, and we're all lashing out like little kids. That's really comes down to when people have road rage, when we have had road rage, we just don't know how to regulate our nervous system, and we just lash out and we project. So again, you know, being moms, it's the most beautiful thing we get to experience. There's moments I can say there was probably times where like, I wish I wasn't the mom right now, because I don't want to hurt my son, and projecting and passing down my pain or hurt and my frustrations. But I've learned to take ownership and talking and communicating with my child. It doesn't give me like the free pass to say like I can always F up, you know, and just apologize and not make changes. You know, there's promises of changes and you don't make changes. It's taking ownership and responsibility and expressing to your child that you're doing your best as a human, because they also to themselves have the right to have their moments, you know, when they're just not feeling good. They're just little human beings. They're not having a good day. And they're going to be moody, just like us.
I think that's like part of this healing journey that I've been on, they've been on with me, and me getting the outside help I needed and getting them the outside help they needed really helped us get to a place where we can communicate with one another in a way where we can all understand. And like one thing that all of them wanted was the truth. And I was taught to communicate with them in a way at their level, but honest with them from the gate. Like from when they weren't with me for 46 days to when we only got to see each other for an hour to when we got to do a couple hour day visits to our first overnight. Like I was able to tell them everything that they wanted to know. And my middle son, he's like the older child of the three. And me being so transparent with him has been the best gift, because he knows when I'm not okay. The baby knows when I'm not okay. Michael Scott, he's, you know, it's a little different for him. But when he sees mom on a meeting, he knows what mom's doing. When Moon sees mom go to a meeting, he knows what mom's doing to go get better. Like, they know what I'm doing today. There's no secret. And that's been the key for it all. They don't want to be lied to. And they want to be talked to in a certain way, just like you and me want to be talked to.
Yeah, and it's respect to them.
Yes, and they don't want to be controlled.
Absolutely.
They react to being like talked to in a way when we're trying, you need to go do this. They react to that. Just like I would, just like you would.
Yep.
And I learned that from the parenting classes. So that's another tool that I've learned to do so that I can learn how to talk to my kids, because we get an opportunity to break that cycle, that generational cycle. You know what I mean? Like, we get that opportunity so that our kids can pass it down to their kids.
Yeah.
Like what we're doing today for them.
Absolutely. It takes courage, you guys. I mean, I always will say it in all episodes with every person that I have as a guest. Being in this path, it takes courage. It really is. Because I'm sure there's like days that you say, fuck this shit. I'm out. Fuck it.
I've seen many people do that.
It's, you know.
It's the saddest thing I've seen through this process. People just like, I have a sister out right now. Because she doesn't think she could face the pain and the trauma and the reality of her life.
And that's the biggest lie, you guys. Like, that's the biggest fucking lie.
Yes.
Because I would say, if that's all you can do, is have a support system so you can go through it. You can't do this alone, first and foremost.
Exactly.
And none of the communities, even in my community and the spiritual communities, if you can't do this alone, period. This is fucking hard. Like, why am I here? I don't know. Like, sometimes you just need somebody just to tell you, like, just for today. I remember that's all my mentor and my sponsor for when I started in my 20s. Like, only for today, Karla, just focus. And it's so hard when you have so much fucking anxiety and you have to keep self-regulating yourself to stay present. It's fucking wild. It's wild because that's all we have. It's just today. And that's the where the mind can take over and just keeps regressing you back. It's just keep going back 5 years ago, 2 years ago. What the fuck happened just a month ago? Whoever talked to you wrong. It's just like you're holding on to that energy within yourself. And you're holding on this anger and frustrations, and you're mad at yourself. You're mad at the world. You can't do this alone. And that's why sponsorship works in this 12, in
this 12-step process. Yeah, sponsorship is the heartbeat of the program. If I didn't have the sponsor that I had, and she didn't have the sponsor that she had, our heartbeats would not continue to beat. Just like I have women that I work with. I have 5 sponsees. My heart would not be beating to this day if I didn't work with these women. If these women didn't use me as one of their tools. That's what kept me alive these last 3 years.
So that's the key word. You guys are each other's tools. You guys are a healing method for each other as well.
Yes.
And that's where, like, the understanding when people don't understand when it's about community and relationships of sponsorship, mentorship, brotherhood, sisterhood circles, all that is necessary when you're in this path. Period.
Period.
It doesn't matter what method you're going, what direction, if you are in the spiritual group, plant medicine, if you're in the yoga groups, if you're, I mean, if you're like in the communities of meditations, and it doesn't matter. All these methods, it comes back to community and sisterhood and brotherhood. If you don't have that, you're gonna lose your fucking mind. You're gonna think you're fucking losing your mind and being delusional. You can go to psychosis, I mean, you can go into different forms of thinking.
Yeah. That's self-will running riot.
Never heard that one.
It is.
You're running wild.
It's self-will.
Yeah.
When we try to do things on our own, it's self-will. It's self-will.
Self-will runs a wild. Okay. Shit. We were doing shit. Oh God, this is it's crazy, guys.
Now look at us.
We're super. I mean, I'm super proud of us. We still have our moments that we still have to grieve old versions of ourselves. You know, it's not like overnight miracle. Like it just everything's forgotten. I think like we still process griefs, like of different things, and that's one of the things. There's never a finale. I think you just learn to appreciate more your present. And that's what we've come to terms of, like understanding that our darkness is what is bringing us into this space.
Yeah, it has to get heavy before we get to the light.
Super heavy, guys.
And there's many times in my journey that I really felt stuck in the middle of the hallway and couldn't see the light. And I know when I lost my kids to December 6th of 2022 of getting my kids back finally after 5.5 years, I started seeing the light.
Wow.
But it didn't stop there. Even after getting the kids back and then getting married, then getting my kids back, I was still in pain. And I knew I had to continue forward to keep seeing the light, because I started seeing the light through the cracks. But I had to keep pushing forward through that pain. I had to keep leaning into my higher power, leaning into the program.
Yeah, the pain part, right? That's when it gets hard, when you're feeling...
Pain shared is pain lessened. When we share our pain, it opens up something for somebody when somebody hears you. I know when we get honest and vulnerable, we're healing. That's another thing that's really has kept me going, hearing other people's stories, knowing that I'm not alone, knowing that I'm not the only one that's gone through certain things.
I think that's one of the things. It takes me back when I first sat in the rooms and being a 24-year-old and almost turned 25, and having my spiritual awakenings, listening to the stories. At that moment, I've always said that was church for me, because church for me was like, it was like just a facade when people just kind of have it look like they have it all together. But being in the rooms and they're sharing the story, it's sharing their humanness, and there were lessons like right there and then, like, holy shit, you know, like, I'm not the only one. You know, you get those, especially when you're in your mid-20s and you're in your young years where you're still experiencing life, right? And how do I learn from all this? And then you have a 50-year-old lady or a 6-year-old or a 40-year-old, you know, you're in your 20s and you're realizing that, holy crap, they've gone through life. They're sharing their lesson, and I'm hearing it. Like, that's fucking amazing. I think that was the moment when my spiritual awakenings were heavy, and I was getting already those realizations. And again, it's never ending. even until this age that we are right now, we're still growing, we're still evolving a lot. You know, because now we're in a different stage. We're moms.
More is going to be revealed. Our story's not done yet.
They're not even teenagers. I mean, you have one.
I mean,
but it's different.
I mean, they're all going through puberty right now. That's a trip.
Being a boy mom.
Different stages, but they're all going through some puberty. That's something else. I never imagined. I'm a boy mom.
I'm a boy mom. So, I mean, I always wanted a boy mom, and being a boy mom itself, it's just like, how am I going to be so transparent to my child? But you got to. You got to, because we're moms that we're healing, right? And we're going to raise boys that are going to be powerful. They're going to be the new generation of healed, lean men, where they take the role as young men. And it's one of those things that our generation of women, like I was saying earlier, we've been afraid to feel safe with men. And that's the fucking real truth. As much as we wanted the connection and be loved and feel loved by a man, we're so afraid to be vulnerable because we didn't feel 100% safe with them. We wanted to feel protected. But can you really protect my heart?
I think with who I'm with now, I met him 8 years ago. And he's seen me in the shit.
He's seen you in your mess.
Oh my
Sis,
God.
I know.
He's seen me at my worst. I mean, seen me in my relapse. And he always showed up for my kids and me. And I didn't even have to ask him for anything. He never wanted anything in return. Like I learned how to be a friend with him. And when I came back this time from my relapse, and he heard that I lost my kids, he gave me the space enough to do what I needed to do. And then when he realized I wasn't around for his milestone, he knew something was missing. He knew I was missing. And he's the only man that's been around my kids other than their dad. He's the only man. That is one thing I did right. Only bringing that man around my kids, because I knew from the gate that was going to be my love. But everything happened in time. Not on my time, God's time. Because when we connected, it's been nothing but an amazing journey with him. Like, he's been able to help me through my trauma. I had to lean into him a little more and more and more. And that was a suggestion from my sponsor. Like she said, invite him into your process. Let him know your character defects. Let him know your flaws. Let him know your go-to. Because my go-to is to go to man to change the way that I feel. Is to go to food, shopping, stealing, makeup, selfies. Anything to change the way that I feel. Like, I learned that it doesn't work anymore.
We call this instant gratification, right?
Yep.
Get that dopamine real quick.
Yep.
It really comes down to. Yeah.
And he knows that. He knows exactly what it is. And he didn't judge me for it.
That just takes an amazing human being, right?
Because he applies his program
exactly.
in his life. He's working a program in his life. He's working a 12-step process.
And that's doing the work.
Yes.
It does, again, you guys, like, this is the healing method where it works for them. And that's where it works. And as he's doing it because anything, you can be going to a therapist all you want, but you're not doing the work. If you're not being honest to yourself or the therapist or your mentor or your counselor or whoever, your pastor, whoever you go to, is like you're not being honest. It all comes back to that. And he's working like so hard. I see his love for you, and it's so beautiful that he is genuinely, like, in his open heart, and he's a human. I know it's not easy, but you guys are both doing the work where you guys can be messy together.
And he's going through his own trauma right now.
Yeah,
he's working through his own trauma right now, and now I get to be there for him. And it's difficult though, because he won't let me in all the way, and that's okay. I have to give him time, just like he gave me time. It took me a long time to let him all the way in, but that's where trust and faith came in with my higher power. Trust and faith with my sponsor.
You're showing him that love and compassion back right now.
And patience, tolerance. I was reminded I needed to have some patience.
Oh, don't we all?
When he told me that today, I was like, really? Are you sure? Are you sure it's patience? I was like, okay,
I think, yeah, like our ego kicks in sometimes.
Woo! I got ego that's up to here if I'm not careful. So he was right. I do. I need to have some patience. It's not going to happen on my time. When he's ready to face all of it and know that I am completely solitude and I am completely here from, which I really know he does, because otherwise he would have not married me. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have married me.
Well, I think it's the wounded part, right, of a woman, when we're so afraid to show that we're afraid that we're not enough for them.
He said that today.
You know,
I feel like he wasn't enough for me. I said, that's so a lie. Don't believe that.
And we do that to each other. I mean, that's like how we keep projecting.
Well, those thoughts happen when our feelings are running rapid. When we're having trouble feeling something that is happening, our mind takes over and comes up with these crazy ass thoughts. And that's, for me, that is the symptom of the disease of addiction. I don't know how else to explain it. It's
a language where I know what you mean. It's where, it's like, for me, I call it parasitic energetic form, where it takes over and it's sucking energy out of you, and it's taking you to like mental things of thoughts, and you're not in the present moment. You're here, but your mind is gone into a fucking crazy mode, whatever that is.
And that's why they say the pen and paper is one of the best tools to use, so that if we have to have a positive release, and if we need to write it down so it gives us a visual exactly what's going on, that's how we can get a clear picture of really what is happening. And then our mind won't take over.
I mean, like, even holding this space right now, I think there's been a couple of times in my past where I done the pen and pencil, and I drag my feet for that. And sometimes, like, I've used also, like, just talking, like recording myself talk. I think, like, if you're just like driving and you're in rapid thoughts, like, just so you can zap yourself out.
Hey, I'd be saying it out loud in the car, like, God help me. Get me through this moment. Get me through this feeling.
Being verbal about it.
Yes.
Being expressive. Be able to open. Yeah. Holy shit. Like, when you scream, opening the throat chakra.
Hey,
like,
even dancing.
Moving the energy.
Even dancing it out. Remember when we had dance hour? Hey, my kids got that.
We gotta just do it. You just move that energy and be mad and just be able to release it, because that's just energy. And it's like, I call it a parasitic form. It's sucking your life. It's eating you out energetically. Just all that liquid of energy sleep is like, it's just spilling everywhere, and it's consuming, you know.
I think like I'll end it with this for me. The more that I keep the feelings inside, I'm slowly killing myself.
It's like you're being suicidal already, like emotionally. And mentally,
it's slowly killing me. Because it came to a point where it was physically affecting me. I have a heart problem. I haven't had any episodes in a good minute, thank God. And it's because I'm finally releasing all of it out. I'm not being quiet anymore. I'm using my voice. And the program helped me find my voice.
So beautiful.
Anything is possible when we believe in ourselves.
We're magical beings, you guys. And I think, like, in gratitude, you know, you're a version of me. I'm a version of you. And I always say, like, to end this as well, collectively, and this is going to sound like, because the program is also very spiritual, but collectively, when you're in the rooms with whoever you are and share in community, you're actually more empowered, and you are reminded who you are. And I think that's where, at the end of the day, we're here to remind each other who we are. We are, like, powerful beings. We accept the fact we're human beings. We're going to have not perfect days, but the intention is to become a better version of yourself every day.
Yeah.
To live your life well in this present time. And I think also seeing those old versions of ourselves with so much love, and grieve those versions of ourselves. You know, we had gone through symbolically deaths of those versions of ourselves, and accepting them and love them. And now we're in this present time with the rebirth, the opportunity. Every day we have an opportunity that we can change the story. And I'm grateful for you sitting here, Nikki. Never thought, like, again, you know, who would have known that our stories are here just to be shared to others? And this is a way of service for me.
Selfless service.
Yeah.
We're giving back.
We're giving back to the universe, back to God, giving back to our energy to you guys, whoever's listening to this episode. Please, if you're touched and you want to reach out to me, we will always reply back. We will put Nikki's information also below the episode. You guys are welcome to follow her. She does a lot of speaking. Yeah. And you do a lot of selfless service as well. You give back. It's a form of what you give back because that was given to you, right? So
I give back what was freely given to me. I can't keep what I have unless I give it away.
That's the most beautiful words. And that's how I feel about it too. Because there's so many people out there that were there for me. And now I'm giving back to be there for you guys. We are here to give back. And this is a platform, and I know there's millions of different podcasts out there. But if you bump into this episode for a specific reason, it's just because you were divinely guided to this episode for you. Something in you needed to get reminded who you are. And I give up. Have hope. Have faith on yourself. That you're powerful and that you're still here for a reason.
Exactly.
You know. So thank you, Nikki. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
And I don't think this will be the last time.
Okay.
We'll talk about other things. I mean, I think sisterhood and motherhood, and it's one of the biggest topics that we can always discuss. And it's always good to bring topics of relationships with how we deal with children. It's we're growing with them.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you guys for listening to us today on Karla After Dark. Please keep sharing, subscribe, share this episode to someone that you think that will resonate for their soul and be reminded who they are. Keep drinking the best juices that you need today was a very tiring day for both of us. Working moms, and we're here. Thank you, Nikki. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, my loves. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Karla After Dark. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Share them. Follow the link below. I am looking forward to you joining me on my next episode. Thank you for your love. Namaste.